Hello everyone, welcome to Live with DJ Rossstar. Today is Tuesday, April 7th, 2026. Today on the show, we're going to talk to Serge from the band Ways Away. If you have questions for him, you can post them in the chat below. Check it out. This show is live every week, twice a week, but the days and the times change. So make sure you follow me on Instagram if you want to know who is going to be on next. And I will tell you, next week we're going to have Dear Cincinnati and Kiss the Scientist. So make sure you come back in a week to watch those interviews. Before we get started with Ways Away, I also want to let you know that I take submissions. So if you're in a band or you listen to a band and you want to have them interviewed on the show, all you need to do is send me a DM. I listen to every request I get, and if I think it's a good fit, I'll have you on the show. Okay, we're about to invite Ways Away in the room, so hold on just a second. And as I mentioned, this show is live every week, twice a week. I've been doing live interviews on social media and different platforms since 2002, but doing it on Instagram live weekly since 2025. So you can go back on my page and watch old interviews I've done with groups like Hit the Lights, Less Than Jake, Sugar Cult, and more. But for now, let's get to the interview. Hey there.
Hey, how's it going?
Welcome to your first IG chat.
It is. You got me all confused about how to do this too, so.
Well, it was pretty easy once you went on here, huh?
Yep, just had to press a button, but I got like a old potato and a frickin' two coconut shells right here and stuff. I sometimes need help.
Do you ever watch live interviews or anything live on Instagram?
No, I never have.
Okay, well, that's why you're not familiar. Back in COVID, this became a big thing, and groups would come on here and they'd play live and they would do questions and answers. So
Right. Cool.
now people are back in the real world, and I'm still doing this on here for fun because I enjoy it. So introduce yourself. Say hello to everybody.
My name's Sergey Lupkov, and I'm a member of the old Ways Away band.
Why do you say the old? It hasn't been that long, has it?
Well, I meant like ye old. Like
Ye old.
Ways Away band.
Not to be confused with another band called Days Away that used to be around in the mid-2000s.
Oh, when were they around?
I think mid-2000s. Days Away. Not very similar in sound, though, but I did have them on the show many, many years ago, so I had to remember to say Ways Away every time I brought you up on the show.
We played in San Diego a couple of months ago, and I saw my old friend Led, and he's in a band called Waste Away.
Okay.
He was like, "We should play together." And I was like, "We should play together."
And I also think of the Yellow Card song Way Away, which is one of their biggest songs.
Yeah, that comes up sometimes when I look on YouTube and see if anything's up on the band. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not totally far off by thinking this too. How long have you been doing this for? Have you been in the group since day one?
Yeah, we started right in the beginning of the pandemic. So I think we probably got together in the end of 2019, and then probably played our first show like in I would say probably in 2021 maybe. I don't know. The pandemic's so weird. It's like that whole time I kind of feel like it all blends together, and sometimes it feels like a long time ago, and sometimes it seems like nothing's happened since then.
Did you practice with masks on and the whole thing, or did you not even see each other for a whole year?
We practice? I mean, yeah, we practiced. Well, we made a record during the pandemic, our second record, and I remember when the producer guy came to our practice studio, we were all wearing masks, and then when we actually went to his studio, he finally took his mask off, and I had seen him maybe 5 times, but I didn't know what he looked like.
Yeah.
What he looked like. I was, oh shit, that's what you look like.
I thought it was interesting. They did a lot of those, conventions for horror movies and stuff during the pandemic, and people were taking photos with their favorite actors, and they were wearing masks. And how could you really even prove to people that you met the person that you say you met? It looked nothing like him.
Yeah, it could be an impossible. Well, it's weird how like just covering this much, like I just didn't know what this looked like on Brad and whatever. And yeah, then when I saw that, I was like, oh fuck, you look totally different than I thought you were gonna look.
So what was the first show like in 2021? Was it weird to not do any music live and then you're free to go outside?
Yeah, like getting back into it was weird for a couple of reasons. Like, I had like, well, the first shows I played wasn't Ways Away. It's my other band, Sam I Am, and we just did this big tour in Europe with Hot Water Music and the drummer of Ways Away, his other band, Poisonous Fire. And the first show was like 5,000 people or whatever, and let alone just like playing standing up, or standing in front of people. Like, it was just really disorienting. And I actually had like crazy, I didn't have, once we were on tour and once I was there, I was fine. But on the weeks leading up to flying out to Germany, like, I just got crazy anxiety. I had to like give up coffee for 3 weeks because I kept waking up at like 5 in the morning. But like the actual like playing in front of people, it went away real quick. I don't get stage fright. I get other things like, oh shit, am I gonna miss my plane? Or with like Ways Away, which is a small band that like you never know. Maybe there'll be a couple hundred people, maybe there'll be like no one there. I get nervous like creeping up to the club, see if anyone's
Yeah, it
there.
depends on how early you go also. Well, especially if you're headlining, I'm sure it's a little bit different than opening up for someone bigger.
But standing up in front of people and doing my little thing or whatever, I don't get nervous, like, because I don't, take it that seriously. And I mean, the human mind's a weird thing. You just get anxious about weird stuff.
So you mentioned Sam I Am. I know they've been around for a long time. What year did you join that group?
I started it.
Okay, wow. Because I was going to say, I've only seen Sam I Am one time, and it was opening for Green Day in 1998. So it was a long time ago.
Yeah. No,
Asbury Park, New Jersey.
Oh yeah. All right. There was that big. I remember going backstage. Was it was on a pier, and backstage was like you could go back outside on the end of the pier, and there was just like crazy waves.
Yeah.
Like it was a crazy stormy night.
Oh yeah, good times. So here you are, and you're doing the Ways Away. And you say a small band, but I feel like you're working your way up. I know that you're playing with Face to Face this month and Homegrown, and that's a pretty cool deal.
I mean, opening, like, there's a big difference between being face to face, selling out a 2,500 person theater, and being Ways Away, being the band playing first, hoping people will get out of their cars.
But you were invited. There's endless bands that could have picked, so that must feel pretty good.
I mean, I think it's Ways Away's done a lot. Like, we're recording our fourth record right now, and we've gone to Europe. We're going to Europe for either third or fourth. Was it third time next month? And we do some things, and the people come out, and like, we get a couple of streams and stuff. But in the scheme of things, we're just a tiny little band. We're still like in that stage of trying to get the word out. Like,
do you have like a goal, like for you personally? Like, do you want to be the headliner in the 2,500 person room, or at this point are you just enjoying playing shows?
That would be nice.
Okay, so you have.
Is that a goal? I mean, to be honest, I don't really have any goals except for just doing it. I feel like. Well, I honestly feel like sometimes people go like, "Well, just because I'm older, like, what would you tell like a young guy or young girl in a band?" And I would say, if you can't find the fun out of driving 24 hours to the next show to play in front of 5 people, then you shouldn't do it. If you have these goals about money and people liking you, you probably shouldn't do it,
It's a different world now. There are some people I've had on the show. They have never played a show, but they make a lot of money on TikTok somehow, and so they don't really have to. They just release songs every couple months and make their little viral videos. And I guess maybe they don't feel the desire to go out and do that, but I think that sounds fun to me. If I were you and I had a band, I wouldn't want to be driving around 24 hours. Makes it more interesting, more memories.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like if that's what makes a person happy, like that would make me happy. Like, I don't care if like I made a ton of money and lots of people love my little stupid little songs. But if I never like played live or like, made it into like a quote unquote real thing, like it was just lived on the internet. I don't know. I mean, I would enjoy the paycheck, I'm sure, but like it wouldn't mean that much to me. And just going out and meeting people and doing things. And like having a band and having like this little group of people, like against the world kind of thing. That's why I do it, you know.
Have you had other projects before this that didn't work out? Maybe you didn't get past the first song recording or the first show?
Uh, I mean, this band was sort of like that. Like the way this band started is they met the old bass player at a show, and he was like, "Hey, do you want to?" He was like a Sam I Am like fan or whatever. I don't know. He likes Sam I Am. Like the word fan makes it sound a little weird, but um, we're friends now. But he said, "Hey, you want to jam?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll jam." And then um, we did it with Jared, our drummer, and my thought of it was like Jared's a great drummer. And the other guy was also named Jared. Great, he's a great bass player. But I was just like, without a good singer, like we're just screwing around, you know. It's uh, and I already know it's going to happen. It's just a couple of weeks are going to go by, and it's fun now. We like hanging out, but when we don't find a singer, or we don't find a singer that's like good enough to make it worthwhile, we're just going to fizzle out, you know.
Sure.
And I've had a lot of bands like that. Like I say that from experience because you get a couple guys together or girls together, and it's so fun in the beginning, and then you get these songs together and this music, and you figure out all the little doodads and all this stuff, and it's fun. But then some time goes by, and you either get a crummy singer or you don't get a singer at all, and then it gets less fun and it fizzles out, like you say.
Yeah, and
And
that's the end of that.
yeah, I've done that a million times because excuse me, I've been doing this for a long time, and a lot of people like, oh, that'd be kind of nice to like, whether they're friends of mine or not, like, oh, it'd be kind of nice to jam with the guy from Sam I Am or whatever, and so yeah, I'll play with you and stuff
Yeah.
if I'm not busy, and yeah, so I described it already. It's always the same thing. It's like all the drummer and the guitar player and the bass player or whoever, they're just backing up the singer. Like we're just a little like James Brown's up front and his band's out back, and no one knows what the name of the drummer is. You know what I mean?
It
And
depends on the band. You're saying they don't know who you are.
I mean, you know, they don't. I mean, there's basically though the point. My point is that yeah, to answer your question, it's like I've had millions of times where I just jamming with guys and it just like fizzled out and it's like bye bye and like forgotten.
What about when you're home alone? How many times a week do you play by yourself?
Um, it's rare that I go a day without playing guitar.
Yeah.
It's like I work from home. I do graphic design and I work from home. So like anytime I want to, I can just go like roll over on my couch and you know like yesterday I learned a Stevie Wonder song and I was just like I was really shitty at it because it's like not my style playing at all, and kept going back to it. And then this morning I woke up and said, hey, I got the rhythm on this little thing.
Awesome.
And like I still get like pleasure out of that in the way that I would if I was 15 or whatever. And now it's like like I said, we're making another record, and we're doing the second batch of songs and trying to get the music together from all my like little recordings I've made in the last like year and a half since the last time we made a record. And it's really good just to like sit on your couch and play it, learn all the parts, and then maybe change the parts or go, oh, that sucks. Maybe we should try it this way. And I try to do that. Like this music is not, I'm not freaking Bach or anything, or, Way isn't freaking, but like musically we work really hard at just trying every little option to try to make it the best and stuff,
That's great.
So,
That's all we can hope for.
yeah. But like I said before, I learned Stevie Wonder's song. It's like I like to play and learn music that's completely different than music that my bands play, because it's like it would be nice to know how to play every Bad Religion song or whatever, but it doesn't teach me very much. But like if I try to learn like Nile Rodgers or some weird funk thing, I don't know, it just makes me learn new ways of playing that piece of wood. I play guitar, by the way. I guess.
No, I know. I agree with you. The older we get, the more we're supposed to learn and do other things to keep our brains going. If we just do like the same 2 or 3 hobbies we have, I think the brain slowly, what's the word, dissipates. So it's good to keep learning, keep reading, keep doing more new activities, trying new things.
Yeah. Also, like I'm like a self-taught kind of like crummy guitar player. I when I started out, I didn't really learn. When I first started out, I learned some Descendant songs and some like really simple shit.
Yeah.
Um, and for a long time, I didn't until I discovered Beatles kind of late in life, and until I started like obsessively learning Beatles songs, I just played with bar chords and just played very 4/4 straight stuff. Um, and I think the reason why like the bands I've in sort of sound a little different than average kind of bands in our genre is because all the guys that I play with and all in several bands, they just listen to all sorts of different kinds of music and stuff. And I think that's good, you know?
Yeah. I agree. By the way, we are live, so if you are watching, you can talk to us. I see people coming in and out of the room, but let us know where you're watching from. Anything on your mind, we'll talk to you. So you're not just hanging out on the couch all year. You have a lot of stuff going on. Want to go through some of the other things you're going to be doing the next few months?
Well, I'll probably be sitting on the bench of a van and on the couches and backstages and maybe some hotels or something because I really like it in sideways. It's my favorite pastime. But yeah, just Waysway has a bunch of shows. We have you mentioned that we're playing like in Staples Center, or now it's called Crypto Arena in this theater in
Almost
LA.
crypto. I think is it still called crypto? Yeah, it's like right next to it used to be Nokia Theater next to the Crypto Theater. They keep changing the name.
Yeah, now it's called Novo,
Oh, wow, okay.
or maybe it's not called Novo. No, I
It
think it's
might be.
called
I haven't
Novo.
lived in Los Angeles in like 8 years. I don't know.
Where are you now?
I'm in Austin, Texas.
We were just there.
Just missed you, see? Did you like it?
Oh,
Did you have fun here?
it was a free show too. You could have gone.
I made a detour. I moved to Nashville for 4 years, and then I came here last year.
We played in Nashville last year.
I wish I came directly here, honestly, but you got to experience different things in life, like I said. So I had fun while I was there. It was okay.
Yeah.
It's hard to go to California for so many years. I was there for like 20 years to go to freezing cold weather and tornadoes. So I had to get out of. I had to get out of that.
All right.
Oh, anyway, so you're playing there with Face to Face and Homegrown. So we got that coming
Yeah.
up next.
And then a couple weeks later, we have a tour that starts like New Jersey and makes its way up to Montreal and Toronto and back down to Chicago, just like a 5 show little doodad. And then a couple weeks later, we go. I mentioned before we're going back to Europe, playing a bunch of festivals and a bunch of our own shows, and playing with the Flatliners and a couple of other friends bands. And then in July, we're doing kind of a crazy freaking thing.
I saw
Where
it.
we're driving all the way out to Iowa City, I think, Iowa, to start
Popular
a
spot.
tour that comes back to the West Coast. Which
Okay, sure, why not?
it's like it's the kind of thing that you do when you're a small band, where it's like we got to do something, but we can't wait around for like Iron Maiden to take us on tour.
Yeah.
And so it's like you guys play with us, but you got to come to Iowa City, and we're like, oh shit, all right, we're doing that.
And who are those shows with? Let's start in Iowa.
So the back east shows are with Kali Masi. There are a couple bands because this band Love Letter dropped out, but Kali Masi's the constant on that. And Kali Masi's playing a couple of shows in the July things, but that's opening up for a band we played with in our last year trip in October called Sincere Engineer.
Okay.
So that should be fun.
That is good. I saw them open up for Newfound Glory, I believe, 1 or 2 years ago. They were fun to watch.
There's another band that some of the shows is called Smog, and I looked them up, and it has the dude from so it'd be cool to see what they're all about.
You've played a lot of shows in your life. Any band names come to you as being the weirdest ones you've heard, even if it was a one-time show you played with them? It's like the wildest name.
Weird ones. Oh God, especially when you're like in other countries. I remember there's not a band name, but it was a band look. But we played in this big festival. Well, it was a big festival, but we played. This is Sam I Am. We played a stage that was maybe maybe could fit 1,000 people, and there's maybe like 600 people where we were, but there was a big stage on the side, and there was like, I don't know, 30,000 people, and there was a really weird Czech band that was playing kind of like polka music, but they had like kind of metal guitars, and there was literally like a guy playing a fiddle with a mohawk and glasses, and then another dude with long hair, but he had like the Canadian tuxedo, like
awesome.
Freaking denim on denim.
That's the look out there.
But you asked about names. On our last tour, the first Ways Away tour in Europe, we played a bunch of festivals that we were playing this time too. But I saw this band that I never heard of before, and I think they're from Texas. They're called Lorna Shore. Have you heard of them?
I don't even know how you're saying it. Say it slower. Lorna Shore.
Lorna Shore.
No, Lorna Shore. Okay.
They're this huge band. They're like almost like a stadium band, but they're
wow,
just like this technical metal band. And I was just like, what the hell's? Oh, I was watching it. I was like, what the hell's going on? And they were like kind of the biggest. They didn't headline, but they were kind of like the biggest band of the day. I didn't see any other band with that big of a crowd or anyone flipping out for them. But I just don't really like I love old school metal, but I don't really like this metal hardcore, like proggy kind of thing that's gone on. Like, how do I say this? This isn't very flattering, but I pretty much talk shit about them the whole tour. But I kept forgetting their name, and I kept trying to bring up Lorna Shore to the other guys in my band. And this is like little band making fun of the guys in the giant band.
Of course.
So,
yeah, well, yeah.
So like I'm punching up right here. So like, I sound like an asshole, but I'm not an asshole because they don't give a fuck about whether I like their band or anything.
No.
But I kept forgetting their name, but I kept calling them Laura. They're called Lorna Shore, but I call it Laura Scutters for some reason. And
that sounds nothing like Lorna Shore, but okay.
It just remember before I said that I have like a rotten potato and a freaking empty coconut shell right here. I just couldn't remember the name, but like they kept coming up in my mind or in conversation because we'd be hanging out like hardcore guys or metal dudes, and I would just go, "Have you heard of this band, Laura Scutters or whatever?" Because goddamn, they're so crazy.
You know what? It's fine. I get it. My dad was like that my whole life. He'd call my friends by the wrong names, and he still does that. Like 40 years later, I'll ask about them, and I'm like, "You still don't know the name? I've corrected you like for 40 years."
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of like that.
Well, you got it right because you knew the correct name, so you actually do know the name. We had a few. What?
We have played with millions of bands with crazy names. Like,
oh yeah.
You think of the silliest name like Shit Sandwich or something, and there's a band out there called Shit Sandwich. There's probably 3 bands called Shit Sandwich, so like, yeah. And I've never been in a band with a good name. Like, Sam I Am's a terrible name. Ways Away's not a great name. Like, names are hard. The Beatles is a fucking terrible name, like.
I think Ways Away is pretty, it's an easy one. It's a good one.
You know why I agree is to Ways Away is because it looks decent. Like, I wouldn't say it's a great looking collection of letters when you look at a logo, but when you say Ways Away, it just sort of rolls out of your tongue in a kind of like semi-pleasing way. And I was like, it's better than all these other freaking things that we were tossing around, because we were tossing around some crazy, stupid ones. And you're going to ask what they were, and I don't want to tell you.
But you know what? When you do say it quickly, I actually do hear you saying "waste away," so I can see where the confusion is from.
No,
ways away. Yeah, it's hard. You got to say it ways away when I'm telling people who I'm talking to today.
Yeah.
We did have a few requests while we were chatting. One person wants you to come specifically to Western Canada, so that you got to write that one down.
Maybe they could come down to Seattle in July. I would like to go up to Vancouver or Victoria or whatever, but there has to be like a promoter or something that wants to bring us there, so hopefully soon.
We got a request, I believe it was for Orlando, Florida. That sounds realistic, sounds doable at some point.
Yeah, we played there before. We played there 2 years ago.
I'm sure
we'll make it there.
Someone wanted to know about your One Texas show. Now I remember you were playing the Smart Punk House with Unwritten Law. But my buddy from high school had his own event. He flew in from New York for an event he was putting on right across the street, so I had to go to that one. Even though I did want to go to yours too, I didn't have time to go to both. That's the
all
hard
right.
part. That's the hard part of South by Southwest. There's like 500 shows at the same time.
Yeah.
But they wanted to know why you didn't play anywhere else. You just came in for that, I guess.
Well, because actually, we were booked to play South by Southwest, the Smart Punk show the year before. We bought flights and everything, and then our singer found out that the CIA had a speaker doing a thing, and he was like, "I'm not playing that. I'm not playing it." And so we ate the tickets and didn't do it. So this time they invited us again and, paid for us to go out there. And I was like, well, let's do some more shows. And he goes, I don't want to, I want to do this for Smart Punk because they're cool guys, but I don't want to do more South by Southwest sponsored shit because they have dubious sponsors or whatever. So
I didn't know about the CIA. That's interesting. I guess he looked it up this year to make sure they weren't playing or they weren't doing a stage.
Yeah, well, because it's actually kind of funny last year, because they invited us to play and they said, hey, we do this thing called the Punk House, Smart Punk House, and it's during the time of South by Southwest, but it's not affiliated with Southwest. So in a way, it's kind of like a fuck you to South by Southwest because we're taking people away from their events and stuff. But somewhere before the show, they made a deal and got absorbed by Southwest. So
I didn't even know
like
that.
A bait and switch, like on purpose, but it was something that happened. And Jesse, our singer, was like not happy about it. And at first he was like, well, we bought tickets. We can't say no, or we're going to have to eat like whatever it was, like a couple $1,000 or whatever, or close to $2,000. But then he just woke up one night and he FaceTimed me and he said, you're going to hate me. And I go, what? And he goes, I can't play that show. Like in good conscience.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, fuck. So yeah.
I like that you're telling us a true story, though. It's nice. We get to know. We're getting the inside story here.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of bands dropped out of South by Southwest because also some kind of branch of the armed services was a sponsor.
Mm.
And so a lot of bands were like, I think it was happening when Gaza was getting bombed, and people were like, I can't play this if they're sponsored by that.
I get it. Someone else is excited to see you with Shelter in Germany.
Oh, yeah, we're playing with Shelter a couple shows, yeah.
That's like a nice, simple band name, Shelter. Nothing wrong with that.
Is that person still, do you think that person's still listening? I want to tell this person something.
Tell us. Maybe they'll watch if not, they could watch the replay probably. Let's tell them.
Was back, this is a long time. Back in the 90s, like occasionally, more out of boredom than like supporting strip club culture. I found myself in strip clubs,
Okay.
I just don't want to look like an asshole. We were in strip clubs and strip clubs.
It was a different time.
I was young and dumb, but I wasn't like into strip clubs.
Yeah.
I did go all the time. But one time we were in Pittsburgh before we played, and me and the other guitar player, Sam, went into during the day to a strip club. And I guess everyone was just like old people and slubby people, whatever. And then we were like relatively young, kind of punk rock looking guys. And so the stripper came straight up to us and said, hey guys, I'm going to play this next song for you guys. And she went up and did her thing. And there was some kind of it was kind of melodic metal, kind of. Like it didn't sound punk rock at all to us or whatever. We didn't know what it was. And she danced around or whatever. And it was like really not appropriate for dancing or anything. And then she came and sat down next to us afterwards and said, what'd you think? And we were like, oh, nice dancing. No, it goes, what'd you think of the song? And we're like, who was that? And it was Shelter.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if you know anything about Shelter, but Shelter it's like a Hare Krishna band or whatever.
Oh, okay.
I don't think that like Shelter would be like super, I don't know, maybe they would be stoked though about being a stripper's choice of dance music to take her clothes.
Well, if Shelter's watching now, you know the story too if you haven't heard this one before.
Well, I don't think they're watching this, but yeah.
They're probably asleep right now. Hey, you never know. Hey, before we wrap it up, I want to thank you for doing this, by the way. This is really fun. You're good to talk to. And
Sure. Great to meet you.
y'all watching the live or the replay, if you follow me, I'm on every week, twice a week. You never know who's going to be on next. Could be somebody brand new or somebody who's been doing it for a while. That's the fun part of the show. Nobody tells me who to book. Do whatever I want over here. Just hanging out on my porch, talking to you and the people at home. Anything else you want to tell them before we go, where they can check out everything about Ways Away?
Well, I hope maybe someone might want to check it out. And I don't know. I'm not going to force anybody.
Where
You know,
should they
like
go if
sometimes,
they want to?
a lot of times you get this, and what your colleague or when people like you are getting at us. You want to plug anything like
Yeah, like what's your favorite website that you run for yourself?
You know, I try to stay off the internet and off my phone as much as possible. So, honestly, because I work at home now, but I used to work at the LA Times, and I think a lot of people who are at work right now or just have like office jobs can relate. But like I would spend so much time wasting time on the internet for years that I mean I could go down a YouTube rabbit hole or whatever, but it totally burned me out, and I feel like kind of thankful because I don't go on I don't go on the internet that much, and I don't I don't go down that rabbit hole as much as I would if I didn't spend so many years filling my days. Or you know, I worked also. Not to say
No,
I
I get
didn't do
it.
any work, but I mean, the thought of me in front of a keyboard just typing in like, I'm going to go to punknews.org, or I'm going to go to Reddit, or I'm going to go to whatever
Oh
site,
yeah.
because I'm like, it's 3 o'clock right now, and I got to be here till 5. Damn, how am I gonna fill all that time trying to pretend like I'm doing any work when I'm really not doing any work?
Well, now I'm even more honored that you took the time to do this with me. You could have gave it to someone else in the group, but here you are. So thank you so much for doing this.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Now
thank
you
you.
might now you might be you might become an Instagram live addict after this. Who knows?
Yeah. No, but I told you this when I was texting you before. Like, I do really appreciate. There's millions of people to do this in various levels,
Yeah.
and lots of them just you know they're just chasing the big bands. And one of the things that made me just not ignore your request is just I looked up and you were just doing, you know, just bands that you liked or bands that you found interesting. You weren't just like, you know, just looking for like the big bands and stuff. And I really appreciate what guys like you do, or people like you
Oh,
do.
thank you, thank you. Well, like I said,
You have the spirit.
yeah, like I said in the text message, I started this back in '02, and for me, interviewing my favorite bands back then was you know the highlight for me, talking to like Less Than Jake and MXPX and Goldfinger and all that. And then
Mhm.
so some of the groups that would come over to the old apartment when I would do the show in LA, they were already big. Like AFI came over, a couple other big ones, and they were always really nice to talk to. And then other people like Fall Out Boy and Panic at the Disco, they were nobody, and now they're somebody. So I just, you know, you never really can
Yeah.
tell.
Everyone starts small.
Yeah. So that was cool. Everybody I met, thankfully, throughout the years, big and small, everyone's been really cool. So I'm glad that people are, for the most part, nice. At least when I met them, at least to me doing the show. So
They're talking so much shit, like I'm gonna do to my dog. I go,
as soon as
God,
they leave.
Cheeto, that guy, you should have bit that guy. He was such a dick.
But I appreciate you saying all those nice things. And let's keep in touch, okay?
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Back to your regular days. I hope you enjoyed this break. Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye, everybody.